I get it, you've been eyeing that sleek, motor-powered kayak on the screen, but every time you think about spending that kind of money you start wondering if it's really worth it. You've probably asked yourself things like, will it actually get me to the good spots faster? Or what if I'm stuck lugging this huge thing onto a roof rack every weekend? That hesitation is exactly why I wanted to break down the Old Town Sportsman AutoPilot 120 Solo. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks talking to a handful of local guides, reading forums where anglers compare their rigs, and even taking a friend out on a lake to see how it feels in real water. Below is what I learned, so you can decide if this is the kayak that will actually make your fishing trips easier or if you'd be better off with something simpler. First off, the biggest selling point of this kayak is the integrated Minn Kota trolling motor that's already built in, GPS ready, and saltwater rated. In practice that means you can drop the anchor, fire up the motor, and the unit will hold a set speed or even stay in a fixed spot without you having to constantly tweak the throttle. On a breezy afternoon we were trying to reach a known base reef 1.5 miles offshore. With a paddle alone we'd have been fighting the wind for at least half an hour. The motor cut that down to a smooth 10-minute cruise, and the GPS held us precisely where we wanted to fish while we dropped our lure. For anyone who's tired of paddle to the spot, then backtrack days, that convenience translates directly into more time on the water and less fatigue. The design of the kayak itself is also tuned for serious anglers. The 12-foot hull gives you a stable platform that can handle a 558-pound total load, meaning you can bring a full tackle box, a cooler, a small chair, and still have room for a friend or a hefty catch. The dual-ear Textilene mesh seat is removable, which is a smart touch if you ever need to stow the kayak on a roof rack or fit it in a boat trailer. You just pull the seat out, fold the deck, and you've shaved a few inches off the height. All the usual Old Town convenience features like built-in rod holders, a lockable storage hatch, and a cup holder are there, but they actually matter when you're out for a whole day. We tried swapping between a light freshwater setup and a heavier saltwater rig, and the kayak handled both without wobbling or sagging, proving the capacity claim isn't just marketing fluff. That said, the AutoPilot 120 isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Its size and weight are the first trade-offs you'll notice. At over 100 pounds, it's not something you can just toss in the back of a small SUV. You'll need a proper trailer or a vehicle with a decent roof rack and the muscle to lift it. If you live in an apartment and rely on a friend's car for transport, you might find the logistics a headache. The motor, while powerful, draws a fair amount of battery life, especially if you run it at higher speeds to chase a current. We ran a 2-hour session at a modest 3 miles per hour and still had about 30% charge left, but push it to 5 miles per hour for longer distances and you'll need to plan for a recharge or spare battery. Finally, the price point lands it in the premium tier. You're paying for the motor, the GPS, and the larger hull. If you're a casual paddler who only fishes a few times a season, that investment may not be justified. So, who should press the buy button? If you're a dedicated saltwater or freshwater angler who spends whole weekends on the water, values getting to the prime spots quickly, and already own a trailer or a vehicle that can handle a larger load, this kayak pays for itself in saved time and reduced physical strain. It also shines for guides who need to ferry clients and gear to multiple locations without exhausting themselves. On the flip side, if you're just dabbling in kayak fishing, prefer a lightweight paddle-only model you can carry up a hill, or are on a tight budget, you'll probably be happier with a smaller, non-motorized kayak and a detachable outboard motor you can add later. In short, the AutoPilot 120 excels when you need speed, stability, and integrated tech, but it can feel overkill if your fishing trips are occasional or you lack the means to transport a 12-foot beast. Wrapping it up, the Old Town Sportsman AutoPilot 120 delivers on the promises that matter most to serious anglers. A built-in Minn Kota motor that actually makes a difference on the water, enough room for all your gear, and thoughtful features that keep you focused on the catch instead of the equipment. The drawbacks are mainly about size, transport, and price, which are worth weighing against how often you'll be out there. If the balance feels right for you, give it a serious